So the Ahmadis are needed to improve the quality of American life by calling them to the attributes of God. And the attributes of God never split mankind. To our Afro-American brothers, in this regard, I have a word to say. There are many movements among the Afro-Americans today which attract the people, unsuspecting American people, to a slogan which they think would ultimately make them unite under that slogan and emerge as victorious in America. This is what is not going to happen. It is not a prophecy. It's an observation based on the past. Every movement of hatred, every movement of revenge, every movement founded on inferiority complex is bound to fail. It would not lead you to any success. So in the name of Afro-Americans themselves, it's highly essential that they must universalize themselves with the attributes of unity. Then the rest of the world may look upon their skins as black, but Allah would look upon their skins as the most shining. Like the skin of Bilal, the muazzin of Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Bilal also belonged to a black race. But the message of Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not discriminate against Bilal in the least in any area of human association or treatment of each other. He might have had Bilal in his mind, or all the Bilals of the world, when during his last sermon he said, "Today, this holy day, I trampled down under my feet any discrimination born out of nation, born out of races, born out of geographical boundaries." He said, "I trampled down under my feet Arabism against Ajamiyat. No Arab has any reason for applauding his greatness because I am Arab." That was what is implied by Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because I happen to be Arab, so the Arabs are not great, nor are the Ajams inferior to the Arabs. If anyone had entertained this thought, this is my last advice and the last address. And during this, I trampled down that false notion altogether, forever. Why was Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam great? Not because he was an Arab. Because he was great in the sight of Allah for his not belonging to Arabia alone, for his belonging to the whole world.
Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa! Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa!
So any motive which generates from inferiority complex will always frustrate, will always end up into nothingness. If you only do damage. If you love your own people, O Afro-Americans, remember this. None can change this decree of God. You must rise above parochialness and begin to rebuild yourself under the unity, under the canopy of unity of God. Then you can rise in the sight of all around you, whether they are white or red or whatever their color be. Because God must be extolled. And deep inside, the humans ultimately do extol God. They cannot, in the beginning, change their way of life in accordance with their basic fundamental urge to extol God, because of their selfishness, but this is ultimately what emerges as the victorious factor in the struggle for existence in the religions. So be honest to yourself and tell your brothers to abstain from anything which would split Americans against Americans. Let them hate you if they like, but did not humanity hate the prophets of Allah? Let them hate if they like, but the hatred would not be made to emerge victorious if you love God. That is the precondition for your victory. Because your victory will not be against humans. Your victory will be against evil, against ugliness of immorality. So I hope and pray that the American Ahmadis would take up the cudgel for this message and tell their brothers all around America to rally round the flag of unity of God. That's the only way of their survival. Then they would emerge like Bilal, who was looked down by the Arabs as the meanest thing on the Arabian soil. Because first of all, he was black in his color, and secondly, he was a slave. You know what happened to him? When he sacrificed his personal comforts and risked his life for the sake of unity of God. When he was dragged in the streets of Mecca, in the stony streets of Mecca, like a dog is dragged with a rope tied down its ankle. So was Bilal dragged down. And until his last moment of consciousness, he kept on extolling the unity of God. He almost died saying, La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha, la ilaha. Until those who watched him tell us that he could not be heard, the voice was not audible, but the finger was raised in the direction of oneness of God. This was Bilal, who was transformed into a leader. This was Bilal. When he approached the great Caliph, Hazrat Umar, he stood up from his seat and said, Sayyidna Bilal, Sayyidna Bilal. Our Lord, our Master, Bilal has come. So, O Bilals of America, you will become the Sayyids of America if you follow that Bilal of Muhammad Rasulullah, his servant, and the servant of the unity of God. Spread this message across and be patient. Convert the society bit by bit, not by your words, but by your example. Allah bless you. And with that, I come to the conclusion of my speech. And I hope, inshallah, next time I come here, you will gain more converts, but not to increase your number. You will gain more converts, increase your quality and their quality of life. Allah bless you. And let's join in silent prayer in the end.